You're listening to a 3CR podcast created in the studios of independent community radio station 3CR in Melbourne, Australia. For more information, go to allthews.3cr.org.au.
Sabah al-Khair, good morning dear listeners. You're listening to Radio 3CR on 855 AM and Palestine Remembered with Robert Martin, Nasser Mashni and Yusuf Ahmed al-Rimawi.
Palestine Remembered is Australia's only English-language radio program that is totally dedicated to Palestine. We'd like to welcome those listening on 855 and those that will join us on podcast at 3cr.org.au.
Thanks for joining us. Stay with us and enjoy the episode.
Good morning, listeners, and welcome to another episode of Palestine Remembered. Saturday, the 3rd of August, day 300 of ongoing brutality and genocide of a compliant and complicit West. You know, we used to have conversations. If the world knew what was going on, they would surely act. There can't be anyone that doesn't know what's going on, and yet, despicably, the world watches on, allows our men, women and children to continue to be slaughtered in open-air concentration camp that is Gaza. Day 300. Who would have thought, a day, a week, a month after October that we would still be here 10 months later, demanding that this slaughter stop. 10 months later, asking the world to rein in this genocidal, settler-colonial, racist regime that continues in its pursuit of absolute barbarity to annihilate the Palestinian people. Well, let's be very clear. This is a war against Palestinians, against an indigenous population by a settler-colonial regime that's hell-bent on maximum Palestinian geography with as little Palestinian demography, humans, as possible. It continues, and we just sit by and wonder what might happen. And the outrage, I'm getting messages from all over the world, from the Congo during this week, and another one from Ecuador. People all over the global south are seeing the hypocrisy that is happening in Palestine, the treatment of Israel by the West, and saying why. The West's moral superiority that it's claimed as a beacon of democracy and human rights, of an international rules-based order, has been shattered forever. Day 300, my friends, International Day of Action for Prisoners, has been called by the Palestinians. Today, if you can get along to State Parliament at 2 p.m. for the Global Day of Action for Palestinian Prisoners, 2 o'clock today at Parliament, and 12 o'clock, of course, for our standard Sunday rally at State Library tomorrow. I'll be at both events, speaking at both events, so please come along, say hello, show your support for Palestine. During the week, we had the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh. I want to speak about that, but very quickly, just touch on another journalist who was assassinated during the week. That takes the total number of journalists to 165 killed by Israel. To this point, nothing has been said in the mainstream media here in Australia. We should know that this genocide is not just on the Palestinian people, not just on the infrastructure, not just on Gaza, but it's a war on truth, it's a war on reality. And by killing journalists, what Israel is doing is endeavouring to silence that voice from getting out. 165 journalists killed. That's on top of the tens of thousands of Palestinians, innocents killed there. 165 journalists. I sent a memo to all of the major mainstream media outlets asking them in a global show of solidarity to say something, tweet something, a report, perhaps even a mention or a byline in a story as to what's happening to their colleagues in Gaza. But sadly and unsurprisingly, nothing. All fell on deaf ears. During the week, Israel assassinated Ismail Haniyeh. We should know Israel since its inception. A book Ronan Bergman wrote in 2019 He talks about Israel and the assassination campaign that has been around since its founding and, in fact, prior to the founding of the Zionist state, detailing all of the killings and the assassinations, starting with the Jewish terrorist group Lehi that assassinated British politician Walter Guinness in 1944 through the Catafalque Bernadette, all the way through 2,300 operations back to 2019, 2,300 extrajudicial assassinations and slaughters, killing several thousands of people. No official records. The Israelis have yet to claim responsibility for the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh in Iran. But I want to talk very quickly, take you through the assassination policy of Israel with respect to, quote-unquote, their desire for peace. And when we spell peace, we are P-E-A-C-E, white doves, peace sign. When Israel talks about peace, they're talking about every piece of Palestine, P-I-E-C-E. In December of 1987, following the First Intifada, the Islamic charity that was known as the Islamic Collective renamed itself Hamas. Within 6 months, the Hamas leader, Mahmoud al-Zahar, travelled from Gaza to Tel Aviv and submitted an offer to the then Defence Minister, Yitzhak Rabin. He said if Israel wants peace, it had to declare its intentions and withdraw from the occupied territories, release Palestinian detainees, and allow Palestinians to name representatives to negotiate with Israel. This is 1988, 36 years ago, 6 months after Hamas is formed. The leader met Yitzhak Rabin, who was then Defence Minister, who later became Prime Minister, who later signed the Oslo Accords, who was later assassinated by Israelis for wanting to make peace. Hamas founder Sheikh Ahmed Yassin also agreed to negotiate for peace in 1998. Israel acknowledged Palestinian people's right to self-determination and return of the land. But the offer again fell on deaf ears. For decades, Israel has refused to allow Palestinian refugees to go home. For decades, Israel has been building settlements in Palestine. In fact, Israel tripled its settler population from 1982 to 1988 and imprisoned thousands of Palestinians. Thousands. This is all while Hamas was trying to negotiate a peace treaty. In the 80s, Israel was just unwilling and is still unwilling to negotiate or want peace. It would not do anything. And by doing that, Israel continued and continues to make things worse. Through the 80s and 90s, Israel continued to confiscate more land overnight. And we've got a very large community from Beth Jela, which is a village just outside of Bethlehem, a Christian village. Beth Jela has some of the oldest Christian community on earth. The Israelis confiscated some land from the Beth Jela people. They've been confiscating land, a decade of violence. In 1997, Hamas leader Sheikh Yassin proposed a ceasefire of 30 years between Israelis and Palestinians. 30-year ceasefire. Hamas leaders continued to reformulate the idea. Hamas accepted in 2004, Sheikh Yassin, a temporary peace if a Palestinian state was established in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. It wasn't just Sheikh Ahmed Yassin. Hamas' second-in-command, Abdul Aziz al-Ntisi, told Reuters in 2004, we accept a state in the West Bank, including Jerusalem and the Gaza Strip. We propose a 10-year truce in return for Israeli withdrawal and the establishment of the state. Hamas' peace offers in 88, 97, 2004, they're all based on UN resolutions 194, 242, which were the basis of the Oslo Accords. Israel had the same problem in 97 and 2004 as it had in 88, and that is that it does not want peace. It wants every piece of Palestine. In the 90s and the 2000s, we got all the settlement growth, apartheid roads, apartheid walls, more military checkpoints, more land confiscations, more roadblocks. The pervasive and oppressive occupation and apartheid system continued to grow. Israel then assassinated Sheikh Ahmed Yassin in March of 2004 and Rantisi in April of 2004. It's no new thing for Israel to assassinate Palestinians. As I said before, 2,300 operations since 1948 to 2019, and I'm sure that number is approaching 3,000. In 2006, as we know, Hamas won an election that the Jimmy Carter Peace and Election Centre called the free and fairest elections they'd ever supervised. Hamas was never given a chance to govern. In fact, immediately the entire West turned upon Hamas. During the past 10 months, Israel has been negotiating for, quote-unquote, the release of prisoners whilst they've been bombing and killing them. The person they have been negotiating with is Ismail Haniyeh. On the 23rd of July, 14 different Palestinian factions met in Beijing and signed an agreement with the PLO as the sole representative body of all Palestinians, and that it would be charged with responsibility to negotiate, and that everybody would participate in that, a national or international agreement for all the Palestinian factions to unite. Within a week, Israel assassinates the leader of Hamas. Why kill him now? Why kill him in Iran and not Qatar, where they know where he is? Why kill him when they know that of all people, he is the most, quote-unquote, according to Israelis, pragmatic? In November, he offered a two-state solution. In November, he said all of the hostages would be released. Israel does not want peace. It's killed him now to ruin the ceasefire and prisoner swap negotiations. It's killed him now to end the Palestinian unity after the Beijing summit. It's killed him now to push Hamas to become more hardline, to justify their genocidal campaign. Israel has maintained that nothing justifies October 7, yet every day since October 7 has justified everything because of October 7. Israel is a rogue apartheid state, and it's well past time for the entire world to boycott it, divest from it, and sanction it. It does not belong amongst the community of nations. Don't forget, my friends, get along today, 2 p.m. Parliament House and 12 p.m. tomorrow. Stay tuned. We've got an interview with my dear friend Robert Martin, who's heading to Turkey and is going to set sail with the Free Gaza Coalition to try and break the siege of Gaza. So make sure you stick around to listen to that interview. Thanks again. Share the podcast, tell your friends, and remember, there's never been a better time for a free Palestine.
Because the Palestinian fight isn't just the Palestinians' fight, it's all our fight, because it's a fight not just about land, it's about a fight for freedom.
Everybody should be standing here today saying, Free Palestine.
Solidarity with our Palestinian brothers and sisters on behalf of the Gumbaynja Nation, my people who've never ceded their sovereignty.
We should be recognising Palestine as a state and recognising the rights of Palestinians.
3CR. Stay tuned, stay radical.
Stay locked to 3CR.
Good news, listeners. Robert Martin is here with us, our dear friend, co-host, executive producer, and all-round troublemaker and dear friend, Robert Martin. Good morning, Rob.
Oh, Nasser, good morning. That is the best introduction I've ever had. I appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
Much love, brother, much love. Rob, you are heading away. You are going to honour the tradition, the Robert Martin tradition of trying to get yourself into a world of hurt and trouble, but elevating the cause of Palestine. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
I've decided to be a participant on the Freedom Flotilla. It's something that's been going on for quite some time now. When all governments fail, we sail, is what they say. We're endeavouring to take a whole lot of humanitarian aid and workers to Gaza. We're hoping to go all the way. If we don't, what it'll do, it'll prove the fact that Israel has no intentions of allowing anything into Gaza to help them, that in fact they're going to keep their prison going. We're also hoping that we're going to create some awareness. We want the world to be watching this. If people Google the Freedom Flotilla, it's had some ups and downs. The first trip got to Gaza, which was fantastic. 2010, 10 people were executed. And so it's a all bets are off campaign at the moment. So please Google Freedom Flotilla and help us get in there.
So we need people to follow Rob and the team as they go in. We need people to sponsor, to send money so that they can buy the ships necessary, the fuel, the supplies to get that stuff into Gaza. But mostly, the most important thing is Rob and the other internationals are going to raise awareness so that people can know what is happening in Gaza, that this air, land and sea blockade, this is not new. It's been going on now for 17 years, aside from the 300 days of this latest uptick in the ongoing genocide.
I just wanted to say, Nasser, too, the only thing that we hear about at the moment is the deaths of the Palestinians and the barbarity of the Israelis. Part of the reason that I decided to join the flotilla is because of the courageousness of the Palestinians, the humour of the Palestinians, the absolute unbridled faith that the Palestinians have in us as the rest of the world, not the governments. They are the best people on earth. This is the reason I'm going, because I feel that I must do it. The Palestinians have been absolutely ignored for so long. And the other thing I do want to say, that October 7 is contributed by our Western governments allowing Israel to do as it pleases. If the Western governments had adhered Israel to be kept within the laws, October 7 would not have happened.
Yeah, too true. Israel exists the way it exists because of the impunity that the West confers on it. You know, it lets it go to the Olympics, it lets it participate in the World Cup, it lets it be a normal country. It's not a normal country, and it needs to be treated like the genocidal apartheid regime it is, and that's boycotted, divested and sanctioned. Now, Rob, you set sail, you're flying now to Turkey very soon. We're not going to give anybody too much details. But then you're going to be on the ship. Have you been speaking to anybody that's going to be on the ship with you?
I've been speaking to a number of them. Some of them are seasoned campaigners and they've been doing it for a very long time, and some are very new. We're all excited but also quite worried, because the truth is it is very dangerous. I hate the sea. I don't like the sand, salt water either, Nasser, and I don't like the sun. So it's not going to be a comfortable trip for me, but it's something that I will be doing, I suppose, because I have to do it.
And that's a great sacrifice. And anybody that knows Rob can tell you that he is about the whitest piece of white bread you ever might meet. The sun, the salt, the sea, not a recipe for fun, but this is a humanitarian mission, Rob, and you continue to do great humanitarian work and uplifting Palestinian voices. So that's brilliant. What are you expecting? What's your gut tell you is going to happen?
I'm expecting to be boarded in international waters, which is illegal. I expect Israel to either knock the boat, which they have done before, till a boat sank. They can also take us to a country that doesn't really like us very much and prefers Israel, and I won't have a visa to that country, so I could be locked up for quite some time. But these are all sacrifices that we're all willing to take. It's nothing that our brothers and sisters in Palestine are going through.
Will you be able to tweet and Instagram from there so people can follow you on that?
Yes, we can do that. And also on the Freedom Flotilla website, there's actually a section there, a tab, which actually will show you where the boats are. It actually has a GPS and you can follow us. There will be a time that we either have a 24-hour or a 48-hour period, a blackout period, which is quite dangerous. The Israelis can actually jam the frequencies. Also, one thing that we do want to tell people is that Israeli media will play games and they might actually report that certain things have happened that haven't happened. Now, my family has been told only to listen to 2 or 3 people directly to do with the flotilla. So again, I just tell other people, don't believe everything you hear, only look for the actual evidence or the actual facts from the Freedom Flotilla pages.
Rule 1 is don't believe anything a Zionist or an Israeli propagandist, Hasbroist, says, because you know that is just manufacturing consent for the next bit of genocide. Rob, there's a few ships that are going to sail. A lot of people from the West are going to be involved. It's no little thing to leave your family behind. I'm sure they're concerned about you, but how do you have that conversation with them?
The conversation was very difficult, Larson. It was very difficult because I didn't want to not tell them the truth. So I told them exactly how it was. I didn't want them to find out on social media or through other reports. We've gone through, it's a horrible thing to say, but a grieving process just in case something does happen. Also, I have to do certain videos in case something happens as well. My daughters are very upset. One's internalising it, one's openly distraught, not wanting me to go. I'm a grandfather, as you know. The mother of my children says that my children can't possibly move forward without me, so she doesn't want me to go, and my partner as well. But anyone that knows me knows that this was always going to happen, and I have faith in the community. I have faith in the world that we're going to be okay.
We keep saying that the fight for Palestine is a fight for everyone. The liberation of Palestine is the liberation of all. You must be okay. I mean, we need the Australian government to do and move beyond these mealy mouthed conversations they're having about we called for a ceasefire. It's past time for the Australian government to do more than doing that. And the first thing they can be doing is issuing a statement demanding that Israel doesn't board the ship you're on because you're an Australian citizen. Zomi Francon was assassinated. The review has come back. Nothing's happened with that. The Israeli ambassador is still here. It's like situation normal. We need to make sure that Rob and the flotilla is protected. So make sure you're writing into your MPs and to our Prime Minister, etc., to keep the pressure on them to keep Rob safe. Now, Rob, we keep saying it, that those that have seen your videos when you went to Palestine.
2014.
2014. So 2014 was 10 years ago, 2018 the last time you went. And you're not shy in getting in front of their faces. Can we make sure, please, this time if they jump the boat, you don't do that again?
Yeah, I think it's slightly different being out to sea with nobody around. I'll be adhering to their requests because, absolutely, I mean, I'm coming home. There's no doubts about that. And so we'll do whatever we need to do. We won't be attacking them. Even though they will say that we attack them, they'll also say that we work for Hamas, or they'll be saying that we're delivering things for Hamas. We're not. We're just humanitarians trying to do the right thing. So please keep watching.
Bring awareness. We're trying to deliver medical aid, but mostly to expose the complicity of the West in this genocide. Rob, is there anything else you want to tell our listeners?
Yeah, I do. I'm often thanked for what I do, but I need to thank the Palestinian community for welcoming me into their community. They are doing the hard yards. They are the ones suffering. My brothers and sisters in Palestine are suffering. You don't need to thank me. I'm doing what I need to do. I need to thank you for welcoming me. And I cannot wait until we're sitting in Palestine, in a free Palestine, from the river to the sea.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. All our thoughts and prayers are with you, brother, and we look forward to speaking to you when you get back and following you on this magnificent journey to Gaza.
Thank you very much, Nasser. And look, I've just learnt to swim too, so hopefully that'll be helpful. I'm going to take some flippers and a snorkel.
No, but seriously, did you just learn how to swim?
I can swim, but I've never swum with flippers before. It's not as easy as you think.
Fantastic. A good way to end the show. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends, share the podcast, and remember, there's never been a better time for a free Palestine.
You've been listening to a 3CR podcast. If you found it valuable, please consider donating or subscribing to support independent community radio. To find out more, go to 3cr.org.au.